Hello, we're just getting everybody in out of the waiting room. So I thank you for just a few more moments. It takes a while to get everybody up on the screen, but thank you for being with us. For those of you that are joining us that would like to utilize the closed caption portion, if you look on the bottom of the screen, you will see that there is a closed caption, a CC, that you will click to turn it on. In the comment section, there's also a PDF that has lots of great information if you would like to read that, but otherwise just clicking that closed caption on the bottom will allow you to hide the subtitles, to view a full transcript, or to just follow along with the subtitles. So you do have that option. Please know that the closed captions run just a little bit slower than how we are talking. So we are going to speak a little bit slower so that the closed caption can stay as close in line with what we're doing. We are going to keep everybody on mute except for those that are speaking until we get to our question and answer section at the end, and then we'll utilize the hand raised if you have a question. We have many wonderful council staff with us here today. We have got Elizabeth Fredericks, who is our director of our program, running our tech for us. We have Devin Spira, who was our director of the Entrepreneurial program. She's running comments for us today. We have Bree. I'm just going to use first names at this point. We've got Bree. Bree, can you unmute yourself because I know that you have new oversight.
Yes, I do. I am now over customer care and placement. So I'm the customer services lead.
Thank you. We've got Karen Martin Patino. Again, I'm using the last name because she's got it written on her square. And she is our entrepreneurial specialist. We have Kirsten Tamora, who is our troop support director. We have Chantal Francisco, who is one of our incredible volunteer leads. So she's the regional manager out of the Low Desert. We have Joyce, who is our senior director of program. We have Nancy, who is our CFO and our COO. We have also got staff-wise going on. We've got Ms. Tara, who is our volunteer regional manager from Central West. I myself am Elizabeth Locke-Thomas. I am the Chief of Mission Delivery. And do I have any other staff who are not showing up on my large screen? I think that's all of us. So we have many, many, many Juliet families with us today, and I'm so thankful to see your faces. I know 6:30 is a very difficult time, so thank you for giving that time. If you are hungry and you have not eaten, none of us will stop you from eating your dinner at the same time. If you have not put your camera on and you have the opportunity to do so, we would like to see your faces. If you're calling in from your phone and obviously you can't do that, or if your internet will not allow for it, we do understand that. But we like to put faces to names. So let's get started. I think we've got a good set of our people on here. For those that are tuning in a little bit later, the transcript will be available. We are recording today's call. We will put it on both our website as well as send it out in an email for everybody that missed out. So let's get right to it. And if I've missed anything, team, please let me know as I'm going. So as you know, and or may not know, Council decided to eliminate the Independent Entrepreneurial Program Council sponsored. But what wasn't eliminated was the opportunity for your girls to still participate in several different ways, just not with the standalone entrepreneurial program. So we wanted to make sure that you understood those different opportunities in case you wanted to still participate in that portion of the independent experience. Because being an independent Girl Scout allows you to work on your high rewards, your program badges, your journeys, outings, all of those wonderful things, and then do the entrepreneurial program in a group setting. So still have that opportunity to do everything, just this one piece of that program has been slightly altered. So what are those options that we have? First and the most obvious is to form a troop. We have several Juliets over the last few years that have decided that instead of being Juliets, they formed troops. So basically it's a troop of all Juliets. Now they have their own troop, their proceeds goes into their troop bank account, and they spend based on girl-led programmatic experience. This was very good for many people, and it may be something that you're interested in doing. If it is, we have our troop support team standing by to assist. But for others, we know that doesn't work. And so there is the buddying option. Buddying means that you remain an independent Girl Scout, and during the cookie program or the fall program, we buddy you up with a troop. Your daughter then gets to do her booth sales with other girls. She is a part of the girl-led experience. If there's PGA awards that are earned, she's a part of that. She then is participating in a troop setting, but she remains an independent Girl Scout. For buddying, our regional managers are standing by to assist to find you a troop. So we already have a couple of Juliet families that have reached out to us, and they're already working with another troop, and they will seamlessly move in for the entrepreneurial portion and then move back out to do all their other independent items. And the way that would work with the proceeds is the proceeds that is earned as a troop stays with the troop, and then your Juliet gets to participate in those activities that are being funded by the proceeds that were earned together in that troop entity. And then we also have clubs. We have 6 different club opportunities, which the team will discuss in greater detail with you in a moment. So I'm just outlining for you. And these clubs are not specific to participating in the entrepreneurial program, but rather have completely different identities: STEM, outdoor, service, Girl Scout ways, and within that club opportunity, an entrepreneurial portion where your daughter can still participate in the entrepreneurial program in that group setting, but as an independent girl. So those are several different ways of her still participating in that group setting. And why do we think that group setting for the entrepreneurial portion is so important? It's a business program. And in order to learn to run your own business, you have to work with other people. In order to be a great leader, you also have to be a good follower. In order to learn business ethics, customer service, money management, budgeting, setting, all of those things are better served through that group setting. And many of you ran programs for your daughters. Absolutely. But what she wasn't getting was that group setting. Even when it came to doing booth sales, yes, you boothed with another girl, but then you split what was earned and went away. And so it wasn't that storefront education, which is what the booth sale is supposed to be. Moreover, as all of you know, COVID has hit everybody's business very differently and very difficultly. And we have reduced our staff 33%. And when staff reductions come, you have to look at the entire organization, and some things have to go away. And this was one of the things that we had to stop offering because we simply didn't have an employee left to run it. Our volunteers have already had to take on a much larger role, and asking them to take on yet another thing is not something that we could do. And instead, we found other options. We know that some of you are not pleased with this decision. We acknowledge that, and we are so sorry for that. But we do feel that there are ways that your daughter can have an exceptional opportunity and experience with these different ways of participating. And if COVID has taught us anything, life is not the same. And we have had to all learn different ways of doing things. And some of those things have been incredible. And some of them, most of them, have been challenging. But Girl Scouting is all about finding new and different ways and teaching us how to be survivors. It teaches us as adults that plans change, but we don't stumble. We simply pick ourselves up and forge ahead. This program very much is I have now set the stage. I would like to open it up about clubs. So let's start there. So Miss Joyce, would you like to take the microphone and explain the many different clubs and how that opportunity will work?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, which means you guys can't see each other. I won't do it for very long. If you navigate on our website to the virtual experience, which you get to by clicking on events and then GSSGC virtual, you can find a description and a list of all of the clubs that we have going on. And so program clubs, and then there are Career Exploration, the Daisy Club, Entrepreneurship, Girl Scout Life, Outdoors and STEM, and the Service Learning Club. And then underneath you'll notice, and I'm definitely going to change this. And so when you guys get to the website, it'll look a little different, just because I'm going to move the 4 grades up here as opposed to having it down here float. But it's what's underneath it. So Service Learning is for kids in 6th to 12th. Entrepreneurship is for grades 2nd to 12th. Daisy Club is for kindergarten through 1st. There is some confusion because we have one of the clubs that's called Entrepreneurship that people think that it's product sales program, and it is not. Entrepreneurship is, GSUSA has a number of new badges that came out, and the girls will be working towards the whole concept of entrepreneurship as a business owner, and how do you start your own business and working on those badges. If they want their cookie sale to be something that they focus on during that, they can choose to have, you know, pieces and parts of the cookie sale be part of that, or the fall product sale. Although clubs don't start till October, so trying to do that with the fall, they wouldn't have necessarily enough information to do that. All of our clubs will include a component where we will announce how girls are able to participate in the cookie sale. We still, or the fall sale. I keep saying cookies, and I apologize. Fall is part of this world. And so the product sales, they'll be able to participate in it. And so like for fall, we already know that that's an online only program. And so we will do a session where they learn a little bit about what it means to sell fall product, why they might sell fall product, how to set goals. They'll be able to set a goal as a whole group. And so let's say that they're participating in the Girl Scout Life program, they'd be able to set a goal as a group. And let's say that they each think that they need to sell, you know, 10 cans or whatever it is. Then when they meet that goal as a group, they will have decided what that goal would get them. And so it might be a, you know, individualized ice cream party that everybody gets on Zoom and they all have their own ice cream in front of them and we can all do that together. All of the clubs are online only. And so it'd be much like this, where we'll end up with 16 kids in a program and they'll learn about whatever that topic is. And so it's really have your daughter sign up to, or your Girl Scout sign up for the club of interest, not necessarily like if they don't have an interest in business ownership, don't sign up for the entrepreneurship club. You know, sign up for the club if they really like outdoors and STEM. You know, that's a great club to sign up for. Or, you know, if they really want to learn more about the promise and law and what it means to truly live as a Girl Scout, Girl Scout Life is a great place for them to be. Does anybody have any questions on clubs? Sweet. Anything else, E, that you think I should share about clubs?
Oh, I think that's good. I think that's a good overview on what the clubs are. And again, Devin is monitoring the comment section. Devin, do you have any questions in the comment section?
I think Yesenia maybe is raising her hand.
Who is?
I'm sorry, raise your hand again if you had.
Sorry,
I was trying to tap. Oh,
yeah.
So for the clubs, it says that's grant-based. Can we use our Juliet funds for that?
Yes.
Because I did the interest form earlier today and it didn't, I guess the payment is not up yet because it just asked for our contact information and nothing else.
And that's partly like some of the first clubs will be talking about funding and things like that, but you are definitely able to use your Juliet credits to help offset that $45.
Okay.
Yes.
And Miss Nancy is on the call and she can't stay with us for very long. So before we switch to buddying with the troop, if any of you have a question in regards to Juliet proceeds, utilizing Juliet proceeds for things like the clubs, what will happen with Juliet proceeds right now since we're no longer earning them? If any of you have a question for Miss Nancy before she has to jump onto her next call, Miss Dawn, if we could unmute Miss Dawn and she can speak to Miss Nancy.
When do we have to spend the funds by?
They have been extended for as long as we've been closed, plus time for you to use it. So I can't totally answer that, but stay tuned to our website and especially letting you know when we're going to open back up. Right now with the regulations, the soonest that we think we might be open is January, but we don't have any guarantee on that. So we're still in business, we're still operating. And the question on the club payment, the best way to make sure that your Juliet proceeds are being used to that is to fill out that WUFU form, and I'll coordinate, we'll have finance coordinate with the registration team to make sure that payment gets handled. So I
The online form you're speaking of is the Juliet credit form?
I'm so sorry, and I have 10 minutes. This is my first choir rehearsal since March, so I'm so excited about that. So, you know, and if there are more questions after the words, we'll make sure we get those answered on the script, and you'll be able to see that. So we have, Dawn still had a question. You're unmuted.
Yes. So if one of my two girls wants to save the money because she's hoping to go back on a rafting trip, I can just hold off on her before I spend her money. You can hold off on it.
Yes, you know, all those things are canceled right now or on hold. But if you want to make a note that you want to save that for that specific item, that would be a good idea to fill out that WUFU so that we can make sure that's kind of in a special note that that's being saved for that.
Thank you.
But we won't be able to release anything until things open back up. And I see
And currently,
Judith.
just while we don't know how much longer things will be extended, currently everything is extended till next June because we know we're not opening up before January, which means that was an extra 6 months from when it would have been expiring. So that's your nutty dough, your cookie dough, your Juliet proceeds are currently good until next June.
And the form you're speaking of is the Juliet form, correct? The Juliet credit form.
Yes. And Judith, if you would unmute.
Yes, hi. I have kind of like the same question as Dawn because my daughters have, I think they have a pending balance. And I would like to know if I can use that for their Girl Scout membership because I kind of missed it. This is our second year of being Juliet's, and I'm still kind of lost. And with all this,
absolutely. Now, if she participated in the cookie sale, a lot of that membership was automatic. But if she did not participate,
they didn't. I think they didn't.
Okay, then I you know, if you email customer care, they'll be able to confirm to you whether her registration is already active.
Okay.
Because we're already all processed automatically.
Where's that form? Is it in the email?
Yeah, that's the best way, customer care at gssgc.org.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Kirsten.
I just wanted to confirm, I just want to let you know that I did check and your daughters are not currently renewed. So you would want to fill out that form to use whatever credits are available.
Joyce.
I do see the question in the chat log, which Devin answered exactly how I was going to answer it. I want to add to it that we are waiting, like we know fall is happening online only. And so we have a plan for that and we're ready to send that out to parents. The document's not actually created yet. So do bear with us while we do that. We don't know yet how Cookies is going to operate. And until we hear from product sales how Cookies is going to operate, we cannot determine how clubs will operate on those. And
But it'll be a meeting. So when your girls attend the club meetings, we will go over with the girls and with you how our club is going to participate in each of the product programs. So it'll be a meeting in a club for the fall participation. So you don't need to get that ahead of time. You'll come to one of the meetings and we'll give you that information.
Correct. Thank you for that clarification, Rocket.
were
Do you have
there
any other-
any other questions for Miss Nancy before she has to hop off? And that would be in regards to your proceeds, any banked dough, any of those items financially that you would need Miss Nancy's expertise.
If you have your cameras off, there is a raising hand option over in the participant area, so you can raise your hand that way, and we'll know that we should unmute you.
All right, so we are going to move on, but of course, if you have any questions, even if Nancy jumps off, we'll answer what we can answer. The items that we cannot answer without her, we'll make sure that they get to her via email, and we'll get back to you tomorrow with those. So that chat feature will most definitely be saved so that we can handle anything that we've missed if we've lost, like Miss Nancy here. So moving on to buddying with a troop. Is anybody interested in buddying in with a troop? Because I don't want to belabor something that maybe you're not interested in. Awesome, Miss Dawn. So I will open up the mics for Miss Chantal and Miss Tara, but the way it would work is dependent on the region that you belong to. Miss Dawn, do you know which region you are in? Southwest. Was I reading your lips correct? Perfect. So that would be Miss Alyssa. You would simply reach out to her. She would then take a look at troops that are similar age level as your daughter, ones that are close-ish to you, although I will say with the way that we are working now, it could be anywhere in the Southwest. We do have Miss Heather Murphy, who is a staff member. She is our senior graphic designer, but also she also runs a Juliet troop, now a troop, but of all Juliets. And one of her members is actually in the high desert. So it does work very well, regardless of where you live. And that was, you know, doing boothing and going to cupboards and all of those things. But so Miss Dawn, you would reach out to Alyssa. For any of our Juliets that are going to buddy up with a troop, there will be an additional contract that you will need to sign. It will, first of all, be about the fact that you will follow however that troop operates. If it's a girl-led troop, if it's a troop that parents don't come into the meeting, rather stay outside, what they believe their code of conduct to be on top of the volunteer code of conduct, and then how the proceeds will work. Being a part of the troop doing the girl-led activities, your daughter participating, your daughter earning her girl rewards, but that no money will follow. Money earned through either of the entrepreneurial programs cannot be turned into credits because money and credits are two completely different things. So it would stay with the troop, but within that contract, it being an agreement between you and the leader of how that will be handling. So it's, it'll have many things that everybody will have to agree to on it, like conduct, dates, how they want things handled. But then there will be a section to write in how the proceeds will be handled. These are the things that we're earning. This is what she will get to do, so that there's a good, clean understanding between leader and parent, because you're going to be coming in and out of the troop. Communication is always the best bet. Does that help, Ms. Dawn, or are there other questions in regards to that? Specific of how you get connected, and would anyone like to ask a question to our regional managers, specifically Ms. Tara and Ms. Chantal, in regards to the cookie program itself?
So when I send a message to Alyssa, I mean, is there like a spot where, I know I sent one to customer care and they said the closest troop is up Lambs Canyon 30 miles or 30 minutes away, which is too far for her. So would I fill out, you know, I would have to be a helicopter parent for that one child, where I would need to be at every meeting with her because of health reasons. I mean, how, is there a way that I can get her like in a specific brownies only troop?
Well, and that's,
I don't
it's
want
really,
her, oh, I'm sorry. I just don't want her in a multi-age group, because I had my other daughter in a multi-age group, and she is a very, you know, little girl at 5th grade. And some of the kids that were older were talking about boyfriends, makeup, and it was like, so she finally goes, Mom, they're talking about boyfriends. And so she would just sit with me and then it was really weird, is the oldest girls in the troop didn't talk about it. It was the older middle schoolers that did. And so,
Well, girls like to talk about those things.
yes.
But those are the things that for any of you that want to put your girls in a buddy with a troop, when you reach out to your regional managers via email, let them know what it is you're looking for. So the Lambs Canyon troop that you were offered, I'm sure that was offered as one to join versus to buddy, because to buddy it could be. So again, for fall right now, we're completely virtual anyways. You would be with your daughter because she'd be sitting next to you on the couch. Fall is virtual. And we don't know what cookies is going to look like because we don't know what the world is going to look like. And once we know that, then we can build a cookie program around it. But for fall, we can easily make that happen. Alyssa can match you up with a brownie troop that is willing to have a buddy, and in a virtual setting, we can all be helicopter parents. Cookies would be a different issue, and we'll be able to cross that bridge once we see what the world looks like. Yes? Does anyone else have a specific club question? Or sorry, my apologies, not club. Buddying up with a troop that our troop support team can help with, our regional managers can help with. Like Dawn, thank you for sharing those concerns so that we could address them. Miss Diane has 3 questions. Devin, would you like to read Miss Diane's questions?
Yeah, hold on one second.
Well, I can answer because I was the one that I was working with Miss Diane directly, so I can answer number 1. So Miss Diane, I answered you actually last Thursday in regards to buddying your daughter up, and you said that you would hear from somebody beginning of this week. So we're closed on Mondays, so our first day of the week is Tuesday. So if you didn't hear from Danielle today, you will most definitely tomorrow. Let's see what else. Bree, number 2, can you take the question on number 2, that there was a troop forming? I believe that's the troop that you and I spoke about, Miss Diane, last week in regards to there not being enough Girl Scouts yet in that troop, but I will turn that to Bree to answer that. But I know our conversations were all last week, the ones that you and I had. I'm the one that's been emailing you.
Yes, hello. Do you remember what the troop number was? Because I don't know it off the top of my head. Or if you give me your zip code, I can look right now and see what it's available. And do we have, hang on. I can go ahead and look it up and see if it ended up starting already, and then I could put it in the comments. Does that work?
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So keep writing your questions, Ms. Diane, and we will answer you directly in the comments. But I will make sure that Miss Danielle reaches out to you tomorrow, Miss Diane. And anyone else with questions that maybe one of our regional managers can assist with buddying? Miss, and is it Coraline? Kara, is it Coraline?
Hang on. So Coraline's my daughter, and Diane is my mom.
Yes, got it. Yes.
Okay.
And thank you for swapping your shift so you could be on the call. I know that was really difficult.
It was. My concern is with her being independent and having the Juliet credit versus buddying with the troop, and they have the funds. I'm military, and we're expected to move like every few years. Mm-hmm. And however COVID pans out, or maybe the plans in the future, I don't want her to have either a loss in her earnings, because she probably won't be a part of the same troop or necessarily the same club. Say I go to like Bahrain or anywhere overseas again. So I just want to make sure that she's maintaining her earnings for her hard work and labor, because that is what entrepreneurship is too.
Yes, but Girl Scouting, girls don't have independent funds. They have independent rewards. They don't earn money. That's IRS.
No, I meant like her, supposedly there's like Juliet credits. So as she goes
right
on and stays independent, because I don't see how constant troop action is going to work out for her. I want to know how that plan would work throughout her Girl Scout time.
Well, so I can only speak to our council.
Okay.
So while you're with us, my suggestion would be, so I know the 2 troops that were interested in having your daughter buddy up with them. That could be a conversation that goes into the contract. So if you are then redeployed elsewhere, that they can pay for programming wherever she is based on the range of what they were earning. So let's say that their plan was to do a program learning, everybody was going to learn how to play guitar. And that even if you were then back in Japan, they could pay for that program to play guitar. There's no reason, I don't see a troop ever saying no to that. So she would still get to do the programmatic pieces that the troop was paying for, just not here with them.
Okay, so it's more of hopes on communication.
Well, and isn't that the thing that we all hope for, that we are going to teach the next generation to be better communicators than we are?
Okay, thank you.
And in this socially distanced, I think that's the thing that has been the most difficult for the generation that is on these screens, is that we were all so used to communicating kind of in a fly-by-night fashion, or what I like to call hallway conversations, that we had to learn a new way of communicating with one another because we didn't see each other. So I think a good contract in regards to that. Now, she may do better in the Daisy group, the Daisy club, right? Where I know your mom, Miss Diana's already done a ton of pedals with her. So she's already really exceeding in her Daisy opportunities, but then she would get to do other things with other Daisies that are specific. And I'm going to let Miss Joyce take that.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Gail's the one who's been facilitating that, and she actually isn't focused on the pedals. She's focused on one of the new badges for those kids.
Which was my point, because Coraline's already earned most of her pedals. So she would need other things to work on, which is what this club would do.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the focus of the club is, because some of the other girls attended this summer on our pedal program, which is why Pascal changed the focus for fall.
Yeah. But please keep sending us those questions. I think your mom, Miss Diana, is doing a great job of fielding the different opportunities. But I know the 2 troops that were interested would be really nice fits specific to what you're asking about. They're good communicators.
Thank you so much.
So I am sorry. I just want to say out loud, and so I apologize because I see some conversations happening in the chat log with Diane, and sometimes it's difficult when we're typing to get the message across clearly. So for the new troop, Diane, that's forming, the website says that there's 9 spaces available. That's how many are available in the troop. It doesn't mean that's how many are needed for the troop to be legal or to be considered a valid troop. So only 2 more girls are needed for that troop to be considered an active troop, but there's a space in that troop for 9 more girls. So that's what you're seeing, and that's what that actually means.
Anyone else that has a question in regards to buddying up? Again, it would be a reaching out to your regional manager. If you do not have the regional manager's information, we can most definitely get it to you. That would be just a quick email to customer care. They then would work with you directly, and the turnaround time is about a week. And then there will be an additional contract to sign with that. So it wouldn't just be the parent permission piece. It would also be the contract between the troop and the independent Girl Scout. Anybody want to pick our regional manager's brains? They're a wealth of knowledge. Have girls that went through the program specifically. Yesenia, did you raise your hand, love?
Okay, so I guess I'm just a little bit confused. So buddying up with the troop, what are the differences between buddying up with the troop and actually joining the troop? Because it seems like if you're going to be working closely with the troop, I just want to, I don't know, I'm just a little bit confused about that part.
So if you're budding with the troop for the entrepreneurial program, it's really a short-term agreement, if you will, with that troop. It's a way for that troop is now your troop. That troop is now coordinating your sale. So council can no longer do it, but that troop can do it for you.
Okay, so they're taking over like the getting cookies and you won't be able
Correct.
to
You'd
do
be
your own
emailing.
booths. You would have to coordinate booths through them.
They
Okay.
would schedule the booths and schedule
Okay,
you
and
to
then
work
what about
with.
after? How would that work? So you get your individual rewards like you always do, and then whatever that troop decides, then they'll just call you and be like, "Hey, our girls want to go skydiving." Like,
Right. So if she buddies, she could be part of that planning and that agreement, and that's what's in the contract of what she's doing with that troop with the proceeds. And when it's time to do it, then she's part of that. If what that girl-led planning is that they're putting this much towards everybody's camp or whatever else, then that's what the girl-led planning is.
so the main difference would be programmatic things we wouldn't participate in, just whatever they decide to use their funds for, then we would have to go back to them and have that experience with the troop.
If that's what the troop and your agreement is, then yes, that's what you would do, is you would do the programming with the troop. Correct.
Okay. Will they still have a chance to be like, I don't know, my daughter's really competitive. So she was, if we're going to buddy up with the troop, she was like, oh, I want to be top seller. Like, are they going to be able to do those types of things? Or since they're buddying up and they're not officially part of the troop, then they wouldn't be considered for those types of things?
She could be considered top seller of that troop for sure if she sold with that troop.
She's just buddying up. Okay.
Absolutely. She shouldn't lose her competitive spirit.
Okay.
Now, you can also join a troop. So you can form a troop, join a troop, or buddy up with a troop.
Well, from especially right now, the way that it's being worded, it seems kind of like you are joining the troop. Like it's one step away from joining the troop. It seems almost like, I don't know, pretty much similar.
It's similar, but it's different. The number one thing that people said to us is we want to stay independent. We don't want to be in a troop. Well, there you can have the best of both worlds. Then you can remain independent so they can continue to work on your things at your own speed. If you travel all the time, like Coraline's family is constantly on the move, so it's better to do an independent program for her so that she isn't constantly being ripped away. Rather she,
and then
is pushing forward.
Those are a little bit more flexible for joining if we're just budding up, as opposed as opposed to like joining an actual troop and finding space somewhere.
Exactly.
It can be somewhere more closer, because I did reach out to customer care and they did suggest that I guess that troop they were forming in Moreno Valley. But then at the last minute, I guess we changed our mind. So it might be somewhere. I mean, it's not that.
But look,
far,
if you see,
closer.
if you join that same troop and Miss Diane's granddaughter joins that troop, now you have the number that were needed to make that troop happen.
Well, I think they still need the
girls.
The parent. Yeah, I think they still need a couple more adults, right?
One co-leader. But what a wonderful way for you to be a part of that decision making is that you step up as that co-leader. I mean, yes, there's some training to do, but it's again from the comfort of your own home, and then you get to be a part of that incredible girl-led journey. One of the best things I ever did was be a leader for my daughter's troop. I loved every minute of it.
And then as far as
it's not a scary thing or an
okay. And then as far as the clubs, is it just one club? You can only join one club at a time?
At this time, due to space limitations, it's one club at a time. If you are interested in more than one club, when you fill out the form, there is the option to let us know that
okay.
Write it anywhere in anything else boxes.
Yeah.
If you have the space in the clubs, we're happy to have kids participate in
Okay, I saw the box, but I didn't, because it said like if you can't make a certain time or something, so I didn't put it in there, but maybe I'll fill it out again.
You're also welcome just to email us. Email coordinator@gssgc.org, and we can edit the online form for you.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Heather, are you still on the call? I can't tell if there you are. Okay. So we have a couple of questions in regards to not having access to the independent credits in a troop. As I mentioned earlier when we first started the call, we have several troops that were all Juliet girls that formed a troop. So Heather is on the call specifically to speak to that. So if many Juliets get together, yes, 2 of them will have to step up as leaders. That allows you that opportunity in that girl-led setting for the girls to have the independent activity. So I'm going to turn that over to Heather to explain how her troop operates.
Oh, hi, I'm unmuted automatically. So, yes, we are a very small troop. We were all Juliets. When we moved back over to the credit system, we opted to switch over to being a troop. And so we gathered just, you know, a few girls, and 2 of us are leaders. And I can tell you that it's not an undue amount of work the way our girls want to structure it, because our girls do still want to stay independent. We do things like cookie kickoff or rally together as a troop. But me working for council, I have the complication of always working these events. So it actually worked out well for this. So, you know, we have somewhere for our girls to go with other girls, but it's a very limited capacity. So we don't meet very often. We meet enough to have the girls decide what they want to do. But like what was advantageous about this whole system was once this, you know, all the isolation hit with the pandemic, you know, we had some girls who were like, you know, I want to do some of the activities that are involved in like bike riding. I want to learn all about it. I want to do the badge that goes with that. And so we got them the gear, just like if you were doing programmatic credits prior. We got her the gear, we got her set up with all the safety stuff and the lessons she needed for everything. And we did it immediately because we could just pay from our troop account. We didn't have to wait for anything. Same thing with any of the stuff that we've ever wanted to do. If some of the girls want to come with us to do activities, if we want to say 3 of our girls want to get together and do something together, we can do that. And the other 2 don't, that's fine too. If they want to do individual stuff, as long as it's programmatic, we are all go for it. And the girls have a base plan of what they want to do at the beginning of each sale to accomplish these things. But if opportunities arise, you know, like the clubs or whatever, we just do it. So it's worked out really lovely for us. It is work. I wouldn't say it's much more work than it was, you know, helping my girls with their own personal sales. It's really not. There's some finance stuff that we have to do. It's not overly complicated. I mean, the benefits have outweighed the inconveniences. And we really—
Yesenia, to address your concern about your daughter being a high seller. Heather's troop has an over 5,000 plus seller. She was that when she was a Juliet. She is that in a troop.
Yeah.
She has 3 2,000 plus sellers and an 1,800 plus seller. So they were high sellers as Juliets. They're high sellers in a troop.
Yeah. So it works out.
And then we have 2 questions. We have 2 questions about leadership. Ms. Kirsten, can you speak to the time frame it takes to become a leader? Like how fast is that turnaround if they wanted to do that?
I was just in the middle of typing it in the chat log, and I'll finish that up
thank
after
you.
I talk with you verbally. To become a co-leader, what's required is to register as an adult member, which is the $25 membership fee. There's also the completing a criminal background check, which generally takes anywhere from 24 to 72 hours to be processed online through our vendor, which is Sterling Volunteers. If you've moved around a lot more, it does take a little bit longer because they track the addresses to make sure everything's on the up and up. And you would also have to take online training. Our online training sessions are at your discretion. You would just, upon registering, be able to go into GS Learn and complete those trainings. Thank you, Bree. She gave you the steps in the chat log to know the exact way you would complete those steps. And those trainings vary. Some of them are a little longer than others. Some of them are 15 minutes. Some of them are closer to an hour. But if you're available to do it, they can be done back to back in pretty quick succession. You're not waiting for a live training to be offered. They're at your fingertips when it's most convenient for you. And to form a troop, you do need a minimum of 2 unrelated adult members who pass all those steps and jump through those hoops, and a minimum of 5 girls.
So I do just want to add just a couple of things. That when you do form a troop of Juliets in particular, you can, those girls that do want to remain completely independent and not plan activities together really have that luxury. Plus, as a troop with cleared leaders, you have your own troop bank account, you have control of your troop proceeds, and so there's not that, it's a lot easier to spend those proceeds. You don't have to contact council, fill out a form, wait for it to be approved, and then wait for it to happen. That's actually also, it will also be a lot faster if you buddy with a troop, if you don't join a troop for sales. If you buddy with a troop, accessing the proceeds to pay for the agreed upon programs will also be a lot faster than trying to go through council. I just want to say that. And I understand, I see comments about, I'm sorry, I have to scroll back up because we have a lot of questions that came in after that. Right, so you mentioned that the independence to use the credits is something that she wants to do that the troop is not. So again, if you're able to join or buddy with a troop, that even if the troop maybe was once all Juliets and that's already their agreement, and you buddy with that troop rather than join it, great. Or if you create your own troop, then that can be the agreement that those girls have made for how they're going to use the troop proceeds. So it really, and it really, there'll be a lot less red tape to have to go through in order to actually spend those proceeds and start doing programming than what you have to do right now.
Anyone else with a question in regards to that option? No?
I
Let's
also just, I'm so sorry, because I see a question that's actually for Heather, and I know Heather probably isn't, are you typing, so you're good? Cool, so I'll let it go. Go ahead.
I was also typing on that one too. So let's go ahead and open up for just questions in regards to any of these things. If you have questions, concerns, we would love to answer them. Again, we have all of these experts here to help answer. Yes, Ms. Diane.
I do see one. I see it from Diane. When you're saying, say, why can't you say that Troop 660 can sell, and that question. So what you're seeing with 660, that's your service unit number. It's not an actual troop number. It's a service unit number is what I'm assuming that you're referring to, that's what it says you are. Yes, Kirsten?
I can touch on that a little bit. What you see when you log into your MyGS is what campaign or troop or capacity your girl is participating in. And you'll see a history of what they've participated in. So when you joined as a Juliet, where you were placed is a group that says Juliet, and that said service unit number that Devin was referring to. So that it's differentiated by the service unit. Those include girls that are selling as well as girls that are not selling product. So they are all individually registered members.
Correct. So Diane, those are all girls in that service unit. So in that general area that are not part of a troop but are registered members. Some of them, they all participate at different levels. Some of them are just waiting to join troops. Some of them are very active, independently registered girls. And the reason you can't just sell is because you don't have the background cleared leadership. You don't have a troop bank account. That's why that can't just sell as a troop. So, so I hope that answered your question instead.
But could if 2 people stepped up for leadership there.
That's correct, but then it wouldn't be Troop 660 though. It would be another troop.
Absolutely correct. Yes. Is there anything else in, Miss Rona has the question. If we make a Juliet troop, then we still cannot sell. No, if you make a Juliet troop, absolutely you can sell. 2 people will need to step up into that leadership role. You'll need a bank account, go through the training, but 100% then you can, as a troop, participate in the program, have all of the wonderful options of not having to go through council, of truly having your own bank account, doing your programming in that girl-led environment. So yes, Miss Rona, absolutely you could do that. And that's what Kirsten and Bree are standing by to assist with that. And that could happen very quickly. Are there any questions that we missed in here, Ms. Devon? And if you didn't get to type a question in and you do have a question, please raise your hand so we can help.
And of course, we'll save the log and go back through it. So if we need to answer other questions and send a follow-up email, we will.
And if you don't have the ability to turn your video on, because I know where right now people are actually like physically raising hands, I noticed that there's not actually a raise hand thing in the participant thing, which I thought there was. There used to be. So use any of the other symbols and I will unmute you so that you can ask your question out loud, or you can type it into the chat box. Either way works.
Oh, Rona, that's wonderful you're interested. No, okay. So I'm sorry, I was reading and I wasn't looking. Did anybody have a question that you would like us to unmute you? There's several of you that did not ask a question, and I'm hoping that we're able to give some type of clarity or guidance of directions to go.
So I see the last comment from Diana, and so I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if she wants us to unmute her so that maybe she can ask that a little clearer. I'm not sure. So, I mean, nobody doubts that any of you are capable of being a good leader for your own Girl Scout. Like, no one is doubting that in any sense for her independent programming. But what goes into coordinating a product sale and all of those other pieces that have to be in place, which that we can't just give to individual people. You cannot be an individual person with a troop bank account. That's just as a nonprofit, that's a complete it's an impossibility. We can't do that. So you can't just be a troop of one and earn money like that. So that's the difficulties that we've ran into in regards to having a council run entrepreneurial program, and that we do not have the staff to be able to create a separate training and a separate guide and all the separate communications and collect all of your payments and chase all of your payments and help you with your cookie booths, because we have to monitor that you're not scheduling too many, because the system is set up for troops. It's not set up for Juliets, and that's nothing that we can control. So it's a whole lot of work for us to coordinate individual people. To coordinate as a troop that follows the same exact rules is a whole lot different, and that's what the system is set up to do. I see a hand up. Can I unmute? I can do it. I think. Go ahead.
So what I think is being asked, and if I understand this right, even as a Girl Scout, the leaders were parents of girls inside the troop. It's not being an individual Juliet with a leader leading them. It's if we do join a troop and there's a need for a co-leader or a leader, why can't we step up to do that, to fill the gap, to create the troop for the girls?
You absolutely can. There's no reason why you can't step up and fill that gap.
Because I heard one of the requirements say unrelated.
So you would need at least another person that's not related, and that's a safety issue. I mean, Kirsten can certainly discuss that.
It's both safety, and in terms of being that a bank account is issued, it's transparency so that the two bank signers on the bank account are unrelated. It's a checks and balance to make sure that there's two different people.
It's not necessarily about how to lead the girls and the presence, it's more the business side of it.
Especially in the capacity of everything being virtual right now, especially. In person, you want other checks and balances in terms of personal proximity and things like that. But really, no, it is about being signers on the troop bank account, because there's always two signers on the troop bank account.
Okay, so if, say my daughter is joining a troop or buddying with a troop, I can step as a co-leader. To be honest, I don't have the time to be a full leader. That can make the troop, and we can move forward rather than have a whole troop be left without. right?
Exactly. And that's the benefit of having co-leaders, because while it only takes 2 co-leaders to form a troop, there can be more than that to form a troop, so that the work for running whatever programs and activities can be spread amongst different people to be doing that work.
Right.
So you can have technically 5 co-leaders. You just need the minimum of 2. And knowing that it's totally doable, especially in this virtual environment, to be doing that way. And knowing that while proximity comes into play in terms of geography, the virtual setting lets us partner with a larger group of girls. But speaking to, I know specifically your daughter and your mom, and speaking to Miss, I think, was it Miss Rona, just so you are aware, while I know you were discussing the open troop in Moreno Valley, you both are in Hemet if that's a proximity situation. You both are in the same service unit, so you wouldn't necessarily have to go to Moreno Valley, say, when our troop meetings are in person again.
Okay.
So I think for sure, though, one of the most important messages that we really want to be able to convey to all of you is that your Girl Scouts do matter to us. We didn't make this decision or do this because, oh, well, you're just a few girls and you don't matter. That's not the case at all. Every single Girl Scout matters to us. Everything that we do is to be, you know, a benefit to every single girl. We want this program to be accessible to as many girls as possible. We do whatever we can to make that, and that's why we wanted to make sure that you understood all of the options and that you understood the benefits. But the Juliet program, you know, had a lot of other issues as well, as much as we tried to always make it and let it evolve as it went. From where it started to where it became, a lot of the culture behind a lot of the Selling Juliets was really no longer, it wasn't group oriented at all. It was very, I don't want to say, I don't know if selfish is the right word. I'm sure Elizabeth can help me with that, but it was not what the program was supposed to be about. It wasn't just supposed to be about an individual girl's effort. It was supposed to be about a group effort and what they were all doing. And it's not just about what one girl can get and what girl can earn. It's about what the entire troop can do and learn together as a group. And even if it's just a temporary collaboration between a group of girls, instead of not just being in a troop but buddying with the troop, or even if those girls do everything else independently, this particular program is a very special program that everybody in this call is honestly very passionate about and works very, very hard to make it what it is, and work tirelessly. I don't even know. And we just, it really is, it really makes us sad when, you know, because we're just human beings. I can't even tell you just how sad it made many of us when we would hear people say that we just don't care about their girls. It's honestly quite devastating. And so that's why we thought it was super important to do this in person instead of just written words through newsletters and emails and Facebook posts. So I hope that we were able to explain things at least a little bit better, and that we can at least let go of some of the initial anger and disappointment that we all felt, so that we can now communicate better to actually utilize these different options that we have in a more efficient way, instead of just arguing back and forth.
Solutions. It's all about the solutions and the communication. I hope that through this live meeting, it was able to clarify a little bit of the confusion. I can see even in the chat, there was some greater clarity of just misunderstandings. And to go back to the Hemet versus the Moreno Valley, those are 2 completely different regions. And when it comes to the cookie program, that's going to matter. So when you talk to the regional managers, they're going to be able to explain that to you into regards to which areas you choose. But is there anybody, as we're coming to the end of our call, that has a last question that you would like to ask? Otherwise, if there's something that we didn't answer on this call and that you have and or questions that come up in your mind later that you want to ask. customercare@gssgc.org. They get the questions, they funnel it to the departments that can help. When things come in on a Friday evening, please know we are not open again until Tuesday. And that doesn't mean that we're not all working. It just means the office is closed, so we don't have access to those things until the office opens it up again on Tuesday. So it appears that we're not answering you, but that's not the case. When questions go to Facebook, there is 2 of us that monitor that. And at some point in time, we do sleep, which means that your questions may sit there for 12 hours. And it's not that we're ignoring you, it's that we are not awake when your question comes in at 2 o'clock in the morning. So please use customer care as much as possible. There are so many ways for us to buddy you, group you, troop you, to make sure that your daughter has the greatest experience. Cookie is my favorite thing that we do at Girl Scouts, because I truly believe that box of cookies is magical and that she can find who she is because of that box of cookies. We want her to have that opportunity to find who she is. But Girl Scouting is so much more than the fall or the cookie program. This mission is incredible, and we want her to experience it in its completeness. So any final questions, anyone? As you can see, Miss Devon put her phone number. That is her direct phone number. Any questions that she can answer, she's very good about that. Text her. Devon's a night owl. She probably will answer you when that text comes in. She's not an early morning girl.
Right. I'll say right now, please don't call me before 10 a.m., but you can totally call me after 10 p.m. Totally fine.
Last minute questions, hand in the air? No? Again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know how difficult this time in the evening is, especially for those of you that had to change your work schedules. You're all really incredible parents and grandparents. The fact that you are so passionate about this topic shows how much your children mean to you, that you are willing to come forward and ask the good questions. And in this very difficult Corona world, having one more meeting is one more meeting. So I can't begin to thank you enough for everything you all do. If you have questions, customer care, and or reach out to Devon. Good. I don't see any hands in the air, so I'm going to say good night to all of you. I'm sorry we did go over 6 minutes, so I'm sorry we overutilized your time, but thank you for all you do. Bye-bye.